Welcome to another tantalizing episode of Hidden Gems. I'm your host, Jonathan, and this is...
I hate you.
No, this is...
Senny.
Yes, okay. Today we're going to be talking about the game Baroque for Wii. It's essentially kind of a dungeon crawling RPG. As you guys can tell, we're already pretty exasperated about this game, so we're going to start talking about that. So what is the point of the game, Senny?
Get through the dungeon and find out the story as you go.
Yeah, it has to do a lot with going to the bottom of the tower.
The Neuro Tower?
It's called the Neuro Tower. That's the idea behind it. You start at level 1, you're supposed to go all the way down. There are about 40 floors or so. And at the end, you figure out something really cool about yourself. Which is, I guess, the story of every life, really. At the end, you figure something out interesting about yourself.
Yeah. What is it?
So what were your initial impressions of the game? How did it start off for you?
How did it start off? I started off by getting destroyed by, on the second floor.
You're dead.
I'm dead, dude.
Sad.
The difficulty was there. That's one good point that I have to say about it. Because
It was there until you figured out how to play properly, not control-wise, but tactically.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get further and you unlock more floors, the game decides to fuck with you and just make everything harder all of a sudden.
Yeah, I know. As further along as you go in the game, you end up having to go through the same stages over and over again, but with harder enemies.
Yeah.
That's one thing that the harder enemies part is good, but what I didn't like about it...
But the thing is, you start at level 1 and you have to go back through again, but the enemies are tougher.
Yeah. So yeah, it really plays with you, which is cool. It gives you a good challenge, which is what I liked. But one thing that the story didn't get for me, that it didn't do anything good for me, was there was such a lack of direction. There was you start off the game, you have no idea who you are, what you're doing. You just know you have to go to this tower and get to the bottom, and you don't know who these characters are. You don't know anything really, which isn't that bad because you assume that you're going to progress in the game and do things that will unlock the story, which I guess happens. But there are so many things that you have to do in order to get those things unlocked that are never told. You just have to pretty much guess or cheat your way with a walkthrough or something like that.
Yeah, they never really tell you, you need this, or not even, a good hint.
Mm-hmm.
It's cryptic.
The biggest hint that they had was about the pure water, having to give it to this girl, Eliza.
But they never tell you what the pure water is.
Exactly, the pure water is just an orb.
But it has to be a specific orb.
It has to be your orb, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it has to be the orb of yourself, and they never tell you how to get it or what it is or anything like that, and then you just have to eventually figure it out. And what kind of sucked with it too is that if you fail, you just end up starting all over again with nothing. So
you can keep your stuff.
Yeah, there are ways to do it, but you only find that out later in the game. So when we played 3 or 4 playthroughs getting to the same part, and at that point in the story, they just send you all the way back all the time, which is frustrating.
To be honest, the Archangel tells you. You didn't listen properly, probably. But he tells you that you can throw your stuff into the consciousness orb.
Yeah, but it's not what the consciousness orbs are.
True. Okay. Yeah. They're orbs.
Yeah, but they're these huge things. They look more like asteroids or something like that.
Yeah, but you walk into a big empty room. There's no enemies or something, and there's just a ball.
Yeah, but it's not like the ball is glowing or the ball is doing anything that tells you can do something. It just looks like it's there. There's just it's
you just have to throw the item at it and it disappears.
And it's a transfer. And it doesn't tell you where it transfers to. You have to know that you have to go see this little kid
and punch him
in order to get your orbs back, to get your items back.
Please don't hurt me. I'll give you your stuff back.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. What we really liked about this game was the controls. Absolutely no learning curve. It really flows over the type of game it is. But
the game starts and it throws you in there. So
yeah, exactly. It's a very simple mechanic. You have 2 buttons for attacking. One is a light attack, one is a special attack, and you can throw items and you can charge your attack. Yeah. And there's a lock-on system, which I actually never really use. You don't especially since some of the enemies...
Unless I'm surrounded, I did use it for one-on-ones because you can kind of strafe around the enemies and stuff.
Well, I guess that's where we differ because all I really needed to do was just get in back of the enemies, and I find it easier without the locking system. And they end up taking more damage if you hit them from behind. But that's only with the classic controller. The classic controller is great. They give you the option to use that or the Wii controller, the nunchuck.
The Wii controller and the nunchuck, which is not bad in itself. It takes a bit more getting used to because the weird button placement. The problem comes with the motion control. There's no motion control really, except for your special attack. But the slightest movement will set it off. So you have to like stay still while you're playing. And let's be honest, no one stays still as they play a game.
Exactly. You're obviously going to get into it. You start moving around a little bit, and then bam, you start slashing and like slashing midair. It's pretty poorly designed when it comes to that. But overall, the controls were good if you use a classic controller. It makes the experience much better with the classic controller. That's for
absolutely.
Sure.
You have this little menu in the bottom right corner, which is essentially just for throwing your items, which can be useful when you're in a jam. You throw your stuff and it hurts them a lot more. But it would have been good if you could do more with it than just throw, like equip your items quickly.
Yeah, definitely. It would be much easier because you're often in the menu and you're switching between items that you want to either heal yourself with or equip. Or...
Yeah, if you could just use the item to like heal yourself, would be good too.
Mm-hmm. In terms of presentation, I thought it sucked really, but it's not. I mean, it's not the end of the world. In terms of graphics, it's early PS2 graphics. The game was on the PS2 as well as on the Wii, so you can't really blame it for that. And it is a Wii game. You pick it up knowing that the graphics aren't going to be as nice as on the other next-gen consoles, but current-gen consoles.
But okay, when we talk about that, I don't like the outer world is really bland. Everything's red, basically red and brown.
Yeah.
Some of the characters look interesting. I like them. I like what they look like. Mm-hmm. They're fun to look at.
The art style was pretty was well done
for the characters.
The type of game it has this kind of well, the name says it, Baroque. It has this kind of morose type of theme to it. That things are supposed to be creepy. You have angels and demons, right? And you have all these dead creatures, and you have all these weird, deformed humans. And
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it.
I didn't like it. I thought it was.
If it was a bit cheaper, I'd definitely buy it, but
we put down $20 for it, which should be the most that we normally spend on these bargain games, and I would buy it for 10 maybe.
I'd buy it for 15.
It's just there to kill the time. I find it's really fun to play the game when you're in the tower and you're fighting enemies, but it just gets frustrating with the lack of direction in the story and the fact that when you die you lose everything, you lose your levels, you lose your items, you lose pretty much everything. And you have to start all over again. That's what killed it for me.
I don't mind that. I like starting over with level 0. You can keep some of your items, start back a little bit more powerful, even though you're level 1, because you have your items. And no, you know what? I liked it.
So I guess final call. Both of us have a split verdict on this. I don't think that it should be considered a hidden gem.
I think it could be. For the right price.
For the right price?
Well, yeah, for $15, I'd say go out and buy it if you find it.
I don't know, it's just too frustrating for me. I'm not a wimp. I can play games, man. Dude, it just pisses me off when you have to start all over again for no freaking apparent reason. You just start over and it's like, you get so far and then either you die or you get to the end of that little section of game, and because you didn't pick up the right item or because you didn't throw the right item at the right person, you have to start all over again, and they never fucking tell you what you're supposed to do. It just pissed me off. Oh my god. Don't get it, okay? Don't get
it. I'd say pick it up. That's it for episode 2, Baroque.
You can have another chance.